Beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and I'm back. I was out for about a week. If you saw my post on my community tab or my Facebook page, you know I've been trying to kick an illness for over a week. It's actually been about 2 weeks, and I'm just starting to feel more like myself again. Doctor thinks it's something viral. I thought I might have mono. I was negative for pretty much everything they could detect. So maybe it was my body's way of telling me to just stop and take a break, and I'm hoping that's all it is. I'm starting to feel more like myself, but I'm not 100% there yet. Anyway, I have a lot of boxes that rolled in, and I am excited to start unboxing them, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, starting with the bargain bead box that came in yesterday. So for those who don't know, this is a $17.95 a month bead subscription with free shipping in the US. I do have a coupon code. It is OPAL2, OPAL2, if you want to save $2 off your first month, which would make it only $15.95 shipped to your door. If you're in the US, it's a great deal and one of my favorite ones, especially for the price. So let's go ahead and open it up. They always have a curated theme every month, and the past two have been quite a challenge. So I'm curious to see what this one is all about. I have absolutely no idea. So inside are our contents, of course, our beads and our findings, and it looks like our theme is called Regal. It says blue has been associated with royalty since ancient times, yet it maintains relevance in design still today. It's Pantone's 2020 color of the year. This collection features a variety of shades from deep lapis and striated agate to bright turquoise and crystals. Copper findings and classic ornate designs complete the Regal look. So excited about that. We've gotten so many earth tones lately, and I look forward to a blue and hopefully pretty cohesive box. Also, they always send a coupon to their sister site, beadboxbargains.com, which I've shared here a lot. That is also on the front of this page, as well as the fact that you can enter a monthly contest and win $25 credit to their shop if you're picked as a random winner by submitting a photo of something you've created from their contents. So on the back here is our list of everything that's included. I'll leave this here for just a second in case you want to refer back to it, but we're going to look at everything one by one. As you can see, there are going to be a total of 18 different items in the bag over here. So for $17.95 shipped to your door, that really is a great value. So here's our organza bag, and it does look very cohesive. This looks right up my alley. Let's go ahead and take out the contents and take a closer look. All right, guys, I can already tell I'm gonna love putting together a collection of finished pieces from these contents, which I can't wait to share. I usually come back at the end of the month and do that. Anyway, first we have our bag number one. This says it contains a 45 by 30 millimeter chandelier focal component, and everything that we get as far as findings is going to be in this antique copper finish. They do a great job making the findings so cohesive. And this is great. I love the size of this. It is kind of ornate with all of the details there, all the swirly designs and everything going on. I like the two-tone also, how it's darker in the background and the lighter details really stand out. There's a look at the back. It's got all sorts of places where you can hang beads or connect things, and it's not too big and overwhelming, so it's definitely, to me, a very wearable and workable piece. So I think we're off to a great start. Bag number two, we have more findings, of course. This contains 10 grams of 16 millimeter scrolled flower links. Always a big fan of links, and the fact that they give you more than one or two. Look at this nice handful that you get here. Certainly a lot to work with. These are great, again, size, shape, and lots of places to connect different things. So really the sky's the limit on how you want to get creative with connectors like this and use them. They are also double-sided, which I think is a great feature. You don't have to worry about them flipping around on you. So another item I'm very happy with. That brings us to bag number three. We're kicking it off with a lot of findings. We have 3 sets of 25 millimeter teardrop toggle clasps inside this bag. These are so cool. I really like these. They're just different from any toggle clasp I own or have seen. Look at that teardrop shape, but they're not just plain teardrops. They have that detail that looks kind of like they're wire wrapped in some way, but they're not too over the top. They're a good size, great to use for a bracelet to make for an easy clasp or a necklace. And of course, like I always suggest, you can use these as connectors also. You don't have to just use them as toggles. They could even be used as some great earring components, right? So just think outside the box a little bit with what you get in these subscriptions, because just because something comes labeled as a toggle clasp doesn't mean you have to use it that way. Bag number 4 contains a 7-inch strand of 4mm finely faceted lapis lazuli round beads. Yes, these are exactly the type of thing I'm excited to get. Bold blue lapis gemstone beads. Yes, gemstone beads in the bargain bead box. Another reason why I love this box. And I keep saying box even though it comes in a bag, but it's such a great value. You actually get some gemstone beads included every single month. And I love lapis, so of course that makes me happy. And look at all the sparkly facets that these have on them. They are quite small, being that they are 4mm, which I actually like. I think with all the facets, it makes them even more sparkly due to their small size. So here's a close-up view of this lapis. You can see all the beads are going to be just slightly different because they are gemstones. They are mostly blue in the background with just a little bit of brown, just a hint of mossy green and some gray, just like you'd expect. Next up, we have bag number 5, and this contains 4 pieces of 27mm teardrop chandelier findings. Another one of these great versatile items that could be used as chandelier earring components or connectors. You could do a 3-strand necklace with this, for example. Great that you get 4 of them, not just 2, and also coordinate very well with what we've seen so far. And next up, we have bag number 6. This contains a 6-inch strand of 4mm crystal coin beads in aqua green. At first, I thought they were bicones just at first glance because we usually get a strand of bicones in these collections, but no, they're actually little coin beads. These are so cute, so sparkly, as you can see as I move them around under the light. Sparkles are just dancing around here as they're shaking around on the string. I do like to switch up from the Chinese crystal bicones from time to time. These are more of a flattened, faceted round shape with a smoky background, but then the aqua and AB finish over the top, which gives it more of a greenish look. Then that brings us to bag number 7, containing 5 pieces of 12mm crystal oval matte window beads in blue iris. And these are different too. Look at that kind of harlequin pattern, the diamonds that are going around the side of these chunky oval glass crystal beads. And sometimes Chinese crystal can be a little bit iffy as far as quality. I've gotten some things that are a little bit rough around the holes, but these all look very good actually. None of mine appear cracked or anything, none that I wouldn't be able to use. I think the shape is really unique. I like how it's frosty on part of the bead and then also very shiny around the ends. Now we have bag number 8, and this says it contains 38mm Chandelier Focal. So we have another interesting focal to take a look at in a coordinating color. That's awesome too. Look at the little dotted details, again with that darker background and the lighter, shinier details of metal that really stand out. I love the bargain bead box, very unique focals and pendants that they send. They're just a lot of fun. Pieces that make you think and add that extra level of detail or something different to what you create. Then we have bag number 9, and this says it contains 10 grams of 4.5 by 3.5 bumpy spacer beads. Spacer beads are always something we can use, and I have seen these before. They have a cute little bumpy or rope-like detail going around them, and you get a nice handful to work with to incorporate in a lot of different projects here. That brings us to bag number 10. We're bringing some more blue in here. We have a 7.5-inch strand of 8mm agate beads in royal blue. Look at the beautiful swirls of different shades of blue. You have some with the deeper tones and some with more of the striations of the creamy lighter blue or white, and even a little bit of tan coming through some of these beads. And these are all genuine stone. Of course, there is a note that says they are most likely dyed and heat treated, which happens a lot with these colorful agate beads. It's pretty common. But as you can see, this introduces another beautiful blue strand of beads for us to work with to go along with our antique copper findings in this collection. I see so many pieces that can be made from this already. All right, that brings us to bag number 11. This is a meter of Figaro steel jewelry chain and also a copper finish. This is an item you'll typically see in the bargain bead box as well. You'll typically get a meter of chain or approximately 3 feet, which is more than enough to make several projects. This is a beautiful chain with wide open links. It's also kind of delicate at the same time. The links aren't so thick. And also they're variegated with a larger link and a smaller link, larger, smaller. which is a great detail too. So excited to get this, and a type of chain that's a little bit different than what they typically send. All right, we're bringing in some more blue with this next bag. This is number 12. It contains an 8-inch strand of 8 by 6 millimeter crystal rondelle beads. The color is called Matte Midnight Metallic. So as you can see, this is a deep cobalt blue in the background with some silver metallic brushed on parts of the beads. So they're still letting a lot of that blue through, but then on half you get that extra metallic shine. I think these are gorgeous and give us another shade of blue to work with. And then bag number 13 gives us another type of focal, a pendant. It says it's a 45 millimeter agate teardrop pendant in the color True Blue. Another one of these that has probably been heat treated or dyed. I didn't want to put it on my hand at first because you can see that part of it is actually translucent, where you see the stripes of this lighter grayish tone here. It's actually letting a lot of light through, and this nice swoop of brown below that. So it's not just a flat blue pendant, also has some different tones of blue in it that are pretty subtle. And of course, these are all going to be a little bit different just because that's the nature of stones and stone pendants. But this will certainly go very well with what we see here. Even that brown swoop goes with the copper findings that we have here in the background. That brings us to our next bag, which is number 14. This contains 9 pieces of 15 by 12 millimeter dotted flower charms. All right, so these are pretty cool. They are not just flat. You can see the curvature that these have to them. However, they're not double-sided, but you do get a nice handful of charms just like you usually do with the bargain bead box. That is a lot to play with, along with our same color of findings that we've seen so far. And you have a little bit of darker and lighter tones that bring out the detail in these. You can also put these back to back probably in some way like this if you wanted to, depending on how you're incorporating it, and connect them with wire or a jump ring. If you didn't want to worry about a front and a back facing, just something to think about. Now we're going to look at bag number 15. It says it contains approximately 17 millimeter 5 pieces handmade glazed porcelain twist beads. These are cool. We don't get a lot of porcelain beads in the bargain bead box. We do from time to time. These are gorgeous the way these are glazed. You have the rich, very deep navy, almost black, where the color is really concentrated in the grooves and the color is kind of puddled in there. And then you have the lighter tones that show up where you have the more raised design. So I think these are very pretty. Here's a closer look at the holes. This is pretty typical for ceramic beads. And again, these are all gonna be just a little bit different depending on the way the color and the glaze is set. They have almost a tie-dye-like appearance. Then next we get to bag number 16, which contains a 6.5-inch strand of approximately 5 millimeter Xinjiang turquoise Heshe beads. And I'm sorry if I pronounced the Xinjiang wrong. I will have to look that up. But here we go. We have the Heshe beads, which are these flat shapes right here. You can see all these turquoise 4-sided beads kind of stacked up, and in the typical turquoise fashion you have the turquoise color with a little bit of greenish and tan striations running through. And I like that they incorporated some turquoise in our mix of blues here. Just another color to give us some more depth rather than all the same type of shade of blue. And then our bag number 17, this is our last strand of beads for this collection. It's a 15-inch strand of 6 millimeter agate round beads in midnight blue. So we have what they called royal blue down here, which actually looks a bit more teal. And then we have our midnight blue here, which has more of a cobalt blue look to it. Same type of deal. All the beads are going to be just a little bit different on this strand. I love all the stripes and striations going on, especially where you have a big contrast between the light and the dark blue background. These are beautiful. Some of the beads have some translucent spots that let some light through. And it's a nice long 15-inch strand, so it should go pretty far into making several pieces from the contents of this collection. And that brings us to our last bag, which is number 18, containing 50 pieces of 5.5 millimeter star bead caps. Another great basic staple item that coordinates with what we have here. And this is why I always say this box is fantastic for newer beaders in particular. Of course, I really enjoy it too, and I know a lot of you seasoned beaders do as well, but it gives you so many things, including all different findings to create multiple pieces from your package all at once. You don't have to go out and gather up a bunch of findings and a bunch of different finishes. You get an instant collection sort of to work with. So that does it for our January 2020 bargain bead box. For me, this is right up my alley. I love all the blues. I love the antique copper. It's a very cohesive collection, which is what I usually hope to see from the bargain bead box. And like I said, the last two are a little bit more challenging for me. If you haven't seen any of those unboxings or the finished jewelry that I've made from these boxes, you can check out the playlist that I have for the bargain bead box and my finished jewelry updates to hopefully give you some ideas and inspiration on what to do. And like I said, I can't wait to come back hopefully later this month and share with you the finished pieces that I've created from this collection, as well as incorporating a few things here and there from my own personal stash. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the January 2020 collection. If you have any ideas of what you are going to make, or if you've gotten your shipment already, maybe you've already started creating. Also, don't forget I do have the coupon code OPAL2. I will also leave that information and the link down below. So until next time, I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can check out the information section below this video for links to all my social media handles, recommended products, and my shop and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching.